Welcome to Full Court Press. This is where we ask the pressing questions going around the NBA. The trio is back once again, and today we've got Eastern Conference standing. Way too early to call predictions. And as the title says, it's too early to call things, but we're going to call them anyways. This is our rankings for the Eastern Conference, 15 all the way up to number 1. Let's get started right away with number 15. For me, I don't think this is going to change between any of us, and I really hope it doesn't. I have the Wizards. They're just awful. I'm going to leave it at that.
At 15, I have I'm just kidding. I have the Washington Wizards.
Wow.
I have the Washington Wizards. Jordan Poole is quite the funny guy. Bilal Coulibaly looks good.
Wizards. Nothing else to say.
Alrighty. Moving up to number 14. I have the Hornets at number 14. Again, not much to say. They could move anywhere from 14 to 12. I just don't think they're going to be any good.
At 14, I have the Hornets. We haven't seen them with Miles Bridges yet, but I don't know if that's really going to change much. LaMelo Ball's been struggling. Brandon Miller is not looking like a bust. He's looking like an absolute hooper, but they don't look good. 14.
Yeah. I also have the Hornets. I know I said nice things about the Hornets before, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them as high as a 10 seed. But the way things are going right now with Bridges again, I got him at 14 right now.
All right. Number 13 for me, it's the Pistons. The Pistons could definitely prove me incorrect. Jalen Duren has looked amazing. Check out our Jalen Duren video right up here. First ever player on In the Zone.
And my Jalen Duren article as well.
Linked in the description. But yeah, if there was going to be a bottom team, I feel like it would be the Pistons, just going based off history. They're still a piece or two away from really making some noise, so I think that they realize that halfway through the season.
For me, number 13 is going to be the Toronto Raptors. So the Meteor's coming. Scotty Barnes looks great so far to start the season. Dennis Schroeder is looking like FIBA legend out there. Pascal Siakam, disappointing so far. Raptors, team's ugly. Said this before. Their roster's ugly. Their offense is ugly. A lot of things about them are ugly. Please blow it up.
I also have the Raptors. Not that I'm not actually too disgusted with what they've got going on. I just don't see them having enough to make a push, and because of that, I see an implosion coming. I think Siakam will probably be gone. Once that happens, then they'll just be taking pretty much 13.
And at number 12, I have the Raptors. Again, they basically said it for me. This team is not all that good. They have some good pieces, but they're just not a good team overall.
At 12, I have the Detroit Pistons. Jalen Duren, man. That's a star in the making. Baby Dwight Howard, basically. Cade Cunningham and him together have looked really good. Cade's looking like an absolute stud right now. Sar Thompson is a lockdown defender. He needs to work on the scoring a little bit, but he's got basically everything to his game. They're fun right now. I think they're going to be a fun team the whole season, but definitely are missing a couple pieces.
12, I have the Nets. The Nets are just lacking. I feel like they don't have no direction at the moment. I like them having their future lying in Bridges. I'm not 100% convinced about him being like a superstar. I think he's really good. We'll see as the season goes on. This is another team I could see moving up 8 through 10. I'm liking what I've seen from Simmons so far. We could just get a little bit more offense out of him. Other than that, he's been pretty solid. Cam Thomas is scoring. That's about all he's doing, but he's scoring. He's not passing. But I got him at 12.
All right, and at number 11, I have the Nets. Charlie said a lot that I wanted to say. This team, they can move up the rankings if they play well together. They're a very good defensive team. It's just that their offense lacks heavily. That's why Cam Thomas is taking over. They don't have that number one option on offense. People thought it was going to be Mikal Bridges. It's looking like Cam Thomas. But yeah, the Nets, they've got a lot of things to figure out about that team, so I have them at 11.
I also have the Nets at 11. I could 100% seeing them be a lot higher than this. I think 11 through 7 is kind of iffy at this point. But Benson, we bought stock in Ben Simmons, all three of us.
Yes, we did.
You should too. That man is back.
He's looking
Damn right he is.
Just needs to see a little bit more offense. But
Like a
everything
three-point
else
shot.
he's doing.
No.
Like a three-point
No.
shot.
I'm not even worried
No.
about that. I just
No.
feel like he could be getting at least 15 a game again.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know what he's at now, but
Cam Thomas is a pure hooper. That's what we like to call bag talk from where I'm from. And then
Mean streets, huh?
the mean streets of Chicago. And Mikel, he's not looking like he was last year. Not surprised. I thought it was kind of a fluke year, but overall they're looking solid. Excited to see how it goes.
At 11, I have the Magic. Fatmir said like 11 through 7 seeds are kind of like interchangeable. Yeah, the Magic could be a lot better than this. I'm just not super convinced. I mean, they're playing pretty good right now, and they have a good roster. But the teams I have ahead of them, I hope and want to believe will be better than them. So 11 for the Magic.
Seems like me and Charlie are off by like one number for most of these teams because I have the Magic at 10. Again, the Magic could end up higher, they could end up lower. Paolo's not taking the jump that I thought he would within these first 3 to 4 games, but it's only 3 to 4 games. So I'm not all that worried. They're playing great. They're 2-0. They played tonight against the Lakers. This team looks like they played very well together. One of the few teams in the entire league that really does play very well together. They might not have a perennial superstar yet, but these young guys, they love playing together. They've got too many guards though. Cole Anthony's probably on his way out, maybe someone else as well, who knows. He has been.
He might be the answer, bro.
He's putting up that trade stock,
Might
you
be
know.
subs
Yeah.
on the move, bro. To
Ooh.
Toronto.
Ooh.
Oh, I see.
If y'all don't know the reference, go watch some of our earlier videos. You'll understand that reference. Hashtag you know what. But yeah, I got the Magic at 10.
Me and Albin have pretty much the same list at this point. I have the Magic at 10 as well. Franz Wagner has looked like their best player. I think I would say pretty easily right now. He's slowly taking a jump every year. It's so nice to see. He's got everything in his game basically. Paolo, probably just a rough couple games. I'm sure he'll get it back. I'm shocked they haven't played Anthony Black yet. Like he's played 5 minutes in game 1 and that's it. Hopefully he gets more minutes as time goes on, but still lacking that shooting. 10 seed.
10 seed. I'm pretty high on this team right now. I think their ceiling's probably ceiling is like 6 seed because what's happening right now may be like a complete fluke of what we'll see the rest of the season. But I got the Pistons. I said before the duo of Cade and Durant are gonna be. It's a good duo, and right now they're looking like freaking a great duo, dude. Cade is absolutely cooking right now. I really like. Preseason I said that. And I was more so like thinking Cade was going to do what he's doing now. I wasn't really expecting Durant to be just dominating right now.
Yeah.
But he is. I really like what that team's got. I said I thought they might end up being a playing team. And I mean, obviously I got them at 10. But I think the ceiling for them could even be a 6 seed. I mean, I like what that team's got going on.
Okay.
Hey man, I like the Pistons too. That 6 seed though, if they get that, that'll be
The
insane.
ceiling.
Yeah, the ceiling.
They're playing well, dude.
They
They're
are
playing well.
playing well. Moving on to number 9, I have the Hawks. The Hawks, the first 2 games of the season, they looked awful. Trae Young looked terrible. He says he doesn't mind the noise and being hated on, but it seems like his confidence has wavered a little bit, especially these first 2 games. He's just been missing layups. He doesn't look like he wants to shoot the ball as much the way he used to. The Hawks could honestly be a bottom team in the East if they don't pick it up, but they could also end up going up to number 5. The Hawks are always, it's hit or miss with the Hawks if they're a streaky team. So I got them at 9.
At number 9, as much as it pains me to say, I have the Chicago Bulls. You look mid.
Sadness.
We look exactly the same as last year. Our offense is absolutely trash. It's the same thing. Patrick Williams isn't breaking out yet.
This is demoralized Fat.
This is tough to hear, dude. It's tough to hear.
All his projections of Kobe White and Pat.
And Kobe White's looked good.
Kobe White's look.
Kobe White's looked good
a
except for the game against Detroit. Except for the game
against Detroit.
He's looked good, so I'm happy about that.
You know why he put up a horrible game? Because of Cade coming in.
Yeah,
Wow.
Cade killed him.
Yeah.
Cade was killing him. Yeah, we look exactly the same. Our defense is good. Our offense sucks. Alex Caruso, his 3-point shot looks like it's coming back though, so thank you, Alex.
Number 9, I'm delusional. You guys see that later. So I don't have the Bulls at number 9. Number 9, I also have the Hawks. I'm a delusional Bulls fan, dude. Anyways, I got the Hawks at 9. Yeah, they haven't looked solid, but I just they got solid players. They've been higher up before. They haven't changed too much. They got a whole year of Murray now. Right now, it doesn't look like they've really figured things out, but I think they will definitely figure things out, and I think they're gonna. I got them at 9. I think if they end up at 9, they're gonna win some play-in games and probably end up in the playoffs. But as of how they've been playing right now, we're gonna keep them at 9.
All right, moving on to the top 8. And at number 8, I have the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton has been doing what Tyrese Halliburton does. The Pacers, they look like they have, hence their name, some of the fastest pace in the NBA currently. Those guys just get out and they put up quick shots. Buddy Hield, one of the best 3-point shooters out there. The Pacers, again, their ceiling could be top 6. They could also fall out the play-in. It all depends on if Tyrese Halliburton can stay healthy. But this team does look very good. They look like a complete team. When it comes to chemistry, they're also one of the higher teams on the chemistry charts. I got the Pacers at 8.
Okay. Number 7, I have Atlanta. I remember we were saying Trae Young might be one of the most underrated players in the league because everyone disrespects him. We might have been wrong. that man is shooting tour dates.
Tour dates.
Yeah, he's looking terrible. DeJounte had a really good game today, 41 points, but he hasn't looked too great. Jalen Johnson is a hooper. That man has been cooking. It's nice to see him finally get some run and finally actually show off his talents. But this team is still the same, still kind of nasty. Trae Young, what are you doing?
I have the Pacers as well. I like the Pacers team, and I can totally see them jumping up to maybe like 6. The Bulls took care of business today, so that's games like that like between these 6 through 10 seeds that like are gonna decide this whole thing. And if the Pacers are gonna be losing to teams like us, then they're gonna be the 8th seed, dude. And I'm gonna count on that keep happening. So 8th seed.
All right, moving up to number 7. Again, me and Charlie are just always like one off of each other. I got the Bulls on this one. And yeah, the Bulls have been that 50-50 team. You're either going to get a good team performance or it's an awful team performance. Maybe one guy does well. Zach LaVine just had a career high and then we lost. So he had
50.
more than half of our points.
51 and 0 assists. True hooper.
True hooper. Yeah, the Bulls, they could end up out of the play-in. They could end up above the play-in. I am more confident in our team because of the talent that we have, that we can end up higher than some of these other teams. It's just all comes down to if we can really click, because we can't just rely on Vooch, Levine, and DeRozan for all of our wins. It's just not going to work out that way, and it's very evident that it didn't work last year, and it hasn't worked so far this year. A player meeting 1 game into the season is insane.
I forgot about that.
So yeah, the Bulls are the Bulls, man. Hopefully they turn it around and actually just pick it up and win games. But yeah, I got them at 7. That might be a little too high, to be honest.
At number 7, I have the Indiana Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton is looking like he's better than a lot of your favorite point guards. Standing on business with that one. People need to respect him some more. The Pacers have an insanely deep team. Just like a couple games ago, Aaron Neesmith had, I think, around like 30 points. Their team's clicking together. Like Alvin said, they have one of the fastest paces in the league. Defense could still use some work, but they're just outscoring teams right now. I like what I'm seeing with them. 7 seed.
7 seed, I have the Knicks.
Knicks hater over here, by the way.
7 seed is fair, dude.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
Other than one team I have ahead of them, that's fair. I just don't. The Knicks, for me, they just don't have an X factor. Like Julius Randle, like I don't know, dude. I just
quickly.
Ew.
disregard. I don't know. Julius Randle, he's a good player. I just like it's been 2 years of like him being like I feel like almost getting worse from like where he hit his peak when he first got to New York. Not like it's just been very stagnant. Like I can't see him breaking out into something much more anymore. And without that, like I still don't think Jalen Brunson's the best player on the team. So I don't see like Julius Randle leading them anywhere. So I got them at the 7th seed.
All right, up to the top 6. We're out to playing now. These teams will be making the playoffs. I have the Knicks. And the reason why is because the Knicks, they were the 5 seed last year, and they look pretty good. I mean, they play good team ball. Again, I said this is a squad that Tom Thibodeau can coach. They seem to buy into his system. They're hard-nosed. They hustle. They got pretty good defense overall. Emmanuel quickly looks like the 6th man of the year, early pick. So I like the way that the Knicks play. Again, when it comes to chemistry, I also feel like they're a little bit higher compared to most teams. And I think it's because they don't have that X factor, to be honest. No one is a huge superstar, so they all trust each other to shoot the ball. If someone has to shoot the ball, no one's gonna get mad at anyone. So
ain't gonna take you far in the playoffs, dude.
Doesn't have to take them far, but it could take them to the 6th seed.
That's not fair.
Me, 6th seed, I have Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yeah.
The silence was.
I was
loud.
like, is he done?
The silence was loud on that one.
Embiid has looked really good again, but that James Harden issue it's an issue. We still don't know what's gonna happen with him. Tyrese Maxey has looked amazing though, which has been nice. Kelly Oubre looked like a great last minute pickup from free agency, and Tobias Harris is Tobias Harris, and he's doing good, being that solid average player everyone knows him to be. But I don't know. I just don't believe in them. I think they're gonna stop being super good. James Harden, this is your fault.
I hope people can just respect my diehardness for a hometown team. I have the Bulls at 6. Call me delusional. Once we fire Billy Donovan, this team's gonna take off, dude. Any other team with this much talent in this situation, coach would have been fired by now. He's really holding us back. We have the talent. We have everything we need. I mean, 6th seed is really. I mean, this team was a 6th seed 2 years ago. Like it's really not that crazy if you could just get like. That's even an underperformance for this team still with the talent we have on it. After the last 2 seasons, it definitely doesn't seem like it, but 6th seed for the Bulls. Say what you will, dude. 6th seed for the Bulls.
I love it, Charlie. You don't care what I've got to say. You're staying on business with your hometown team. Number 5, I have the Miami Heat. And the reason why is because the Miami Heat seem to always just bounce around in the standings. They went from the 1 to the 5 to the 6, whatever it may be, all the way down to the play-in. I think they're going to bounce back to the middle of the pack this year. I don't think the Heat care too much about the regular season, but they'll care enough to not want to be in the play-in again. So I got the Heat at number 5.
Number 5, I also have the Heat. I mean, they're cool, I guess.
That was such an emo Butler response. They're cool, I guess.
Jimmy's already resting, so kind of what we expected with the Heat. Tyler Hero's doing his thing. They're just being Miami, 5 seed.
5 seed, I have the Sixers. Whatever happens with Harden will happen. If they played the rest of the season, like with Harden sitting out, I still think they'd be the 5 seed. I mean, Embiid's not going to let this team fall that far below unless he's just ridiculously injured. As much as I don't think he was an MVP last year, I mean, he's still that good. Like, he's going to carry a team that high. And, like, 5 seed, they might be higher than the 5 seed, but there's no way they're going to be lower than the 5 seed in my book. So 76ers.
All right, top 4 teams that are going to have home court advantage in the first round. My number 4 is the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the reason I have the Cavs 4, I said they'd get under, and I had the 76ers getting over. They had like the same amount of wins. So I have the Cavs 4th. They're already looking injury prone. Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, and Darius Garland. This team is not going to do well if those guys are injured, especially at the same time. But I still think the Cavs are going to be very good. If that team can stay healthy, they can easily move up in the rankings, and they could make a deep playoff run. But for right now, I have them at number 4.
At number 4, I have the New York Knicks. Kind of have a rough start so far. Jalen Brunson's been a bit off. Julius Randle's looking like he's having that down year after having a good year just like a couple of years ago. RJ Barrett's finally having a good year so far. So I think they need to play Josh Hart a little bit more. I'm surprised he's not getting as many minutes. But I think their team, I don't think last year was a fluke. I think their team will be good again. It's going to take a little bit of time. Brunson to get back his thing. And the team with 3 Julius Randles will be back at the 4 seed.
I have the Heat at 4. You know, I'm actually not super confident in that just because of how like inconsistent they are in the regular season. Like they don't even really care that much to play their guys even when they're not hurt. Like Jimmy Butler rested already, so like whether he was actually injured or not, and like they're not super worried about their regular season. So you know they might end up being the 1 seed, they might end up being the 8 seed. They'll be in the playoffs. But I'm gonna sit them right at the 4 seed.
All right, I have a theory on why Jimmy Butler's resting. One is because he didn't want to play Minnesota because he doesn't like Minnesota. And
Jimmy's not ducking the smoke, dude.
Yeah.
Jimmy's not ducking the smoke.
he blew it at the fans, but my other theory would be that the Heat find undrafted players, and some of their undrafted players left, so they're trying to find that next guy to step up. So they're resting some of these starters to see who can play with teams that are good. Like if you have someone that can play well against some playoff teams, you could trust them when it comes to that time.
Fair.
Yeah,
I like it.
that's my analysis on that. Moving on, top 3, baby. And at number 3, I have the Philadelphia 76ers. This could definitely be incorrect, but Embiid is going to carry this team as long as he stays healthy. Tyrese Maxey is taking over where Harden left off, especially in scoring, which Harden kind of took a dip in last year. And honestly, Harden might have been holding Maxey back just because he needs the ball so much, but I like the fact that Maxey's taking this leap, and Embiid is still Embiid. He's still one of the best players in the world. Again, with the Harden thing, it depends on who they get back for him, and they're already looking good without him. Kelly Oubre stepping up. Tobias Harris is Tobias Harris. Then you got Pat Bev bringing that energy on defense.
Forgot he's there.
Yeah, I still like the 76ers. I still think that they're going to be one of the top seeds in the East.
For me, number 3, I have Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell is absolutely going crazy to start the season. They're just injured right now. That's the only reason why they're not like already up there. Jared Allen should be coming back soon. Darius Garland hopefully will be coming back soon. Donovan Mitchell's questionable every game so far. So really, it's just injuries. I mean, the only bright side you could really say about this is it's letting Evan Mobley take more of an offensive role, so you can see him start to creep out on offense and hopefully establish himself. Max Strus is looking like a great pickup for Cleveland right now. Isaac Okoro is looking a lot better. So once they get healthy, 3 seed.
I also have the Cavs at the 3 seed. I'm not super concerned about injuries with this team. They're super young, and they're so deep. Like having 1 or 2 guys out every game, they're still a pretty formidable opponent. Donovan Mitchell, like I said before, I think he's arguably the top shooting guard in the league. By the end of this season, I'll look like I'm right, or I'll look like a jackass. So we'll find out. I'm gonna stick with it. I think the 3 seed. I mean, the other 2 teams they're just not as good. So this is 3 seed is their ceiling, and I think that's exactly where they'll end up.
All right, and at number 2, these teams are interchangeable, but I have the Celtics at number 2. They could easily go number 1, depending on how the Bucks do. But this is the regular season. I'm not so much I don't have the highest confidence in their bench compared to the Bucks, so I got the Celtics at number 2, just because if one of their top 5, top 6 players do get injured, or more than one of them gets injured, they could struggle to win. So I've got the Celtics at number 2.
For me at number 2, I have Milwaukee. Boston hasn't seemed to like struggle at all yet in their games, while Milwaukee just lost by like 30, I think. They were down 30 at one point to Atlanta, and they just blew a 30-point lead to Miami and only ended up winning by like 10 or single digits. So like, bit of a worry with that team sometimes, I guess. I feel like Boston's just more stable.
I have Boston at 2. Fatmir's pretty much right. I mean, the Celtics have looked really solid so far. Kristaps is fitting in very well with that team.
Yeah.
But the Bucks, I just, Giannis and Dame, I just don't see stopping that duo, dude. I don't know. I don't see, if anybody could, it would be Boston, but once they figure out their, game-to-game, play-by-play, them fitting together, we've seen it look really good. We've seen it look really bad. Once it's consistently really good, I don't think anybody's stopping that. So, Bucks at 1, Celtics at 2.
All right, rounding it out, I also have the Bucks at number 1. Pretty self-explanatory with this. They're either going to be 1 or 2. I just think that the Bucks, their 2 best players are better than the Celtics' 2 best players, and their bench seems a little bit better than the Celtics, so I'm going to take the Bucks.
Yeah, I said Boston. They look stable. Drew Holiday is playing his role. He's playing good. Jaylen Brown is playing solid. Tatum's looking very good. Kristaps is looking like he was last year. He's looking really, really good. Derek White's still contributing like he was last year. Their bench is kind of iffy, but I mean, it's the regular season. I wouldn't look too much into that.
All right, that'll round it out for the Eastern Conference standings. This is one of the easier standings that I think that we did,
Yeah.
because I feel like we actually agreed for the most part. We maybe 1 or 2 off.
Yeah, it was
I
only
suppose.
it was like 5 through 11.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
troublesome there, especially having the hometown team in there. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get into any heated arguments. No one was getting yelled at or anything for having a team lower or higher, but this was a pretty good one.
Felt like that one hit hard, huh?
Huh?
That part hit hard for you, huh?
Yeah, it did hit hard for me, but we could take it.
Okay.
But anyways, subscribe to the Full Court Press because you want to be part of the Full Court Press family, baby. And dunk on that like button. That is what you got to do to help the YouTube algorithm. Is the number 1 thing you can do. Plus, who doesn't like dunking on the like button, right?
True.
Till next time. Peace.